just because I got asked about this again, and I guess there's a Akuma trailer. No, I don't give a fuck about Akuma in Street Fighter 6. I don't care how evil and ridiculous he looks. He beats up a poor black dude in it for some reason in a tracksuit. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. It looks retarded. I don't know why he's so evil. If he's so evil, put him in jail. He's retarded. So no, I refuse to goon for Akuma. And yes, I just learned what the word gooning means recently. I had to look it up because I don't know what the fuck kids are talking about half the time. They're talking about gooning to everything. And I'm like, what the fuck does gooning mean? So I had to read it up. No, I will not goon to Akuma. I refuse. He looks retarded. I don't care about how evil he is. But then this brings me to the point of what I would have done with the Street Fighter story. And I know what I'm about to tell you is amazing. Capcom, whoever works for Capcom, if you take my idea, just give me credit. It's so much better than what they do for Street Fighter. And I'm just going to say this again, even though I've talked about it for years, because I actually got asked before, I got asked this recently, do I think that Ryu should have a light mode to combat Akuma's dark mode? I've already said, this shit is retarded. Get rid of any of this light shit, this dark shit. Why is Akuma actually evil in the first place? Okay, if Akuma's so evil that he's beating up this random black dude, put him in jail. It's fucking retarded. This has nothing to do with a fucking Street Fighter story as far as I'm concerned, right? Akuma doesn't need to be evil because guess what? You already fucking have an evil character. You know what the evil character is? And Bison is the evil character. But for Ryu and Akuma, their story, and this is what they should have done with the story. And of course, get rid of Goken and all this bullshit. Oh, I fell asleep, but I didn't really die from Akuma. I've just been sleeping for like 5 years. Okay, get the fuck out. This shit's retarded. Just have the story. Akuma has this brother, Goken. He teaches Ryu and Ken, the basics of their karate, whatever, their martial arts, right? And Akuma, though, he goes off the path of, he uses those techniques in a way that are able to fucking kill you, right? But both these guys, they have the same goal. They want to be the strongest fighter ever. They both use the same martial arts and they want to be the strongest ever. But Akuma has this assumption that to be the strongest, that no one will ever be able to beat him unless they use the killing versions of the techniques, right? These foundational techniques, right? And you have this story and it plays off of these two characters that have devoted themselves to this martial art, right? Have sacrificed everything, right? And you go throughout the story. Look at Ryu goes on his little journey, right? You have flashbacks to, remember when the Dragon Punch was actually a legendary move? Do you remember when it was actually like Ryu didn't turn evil to beat Sagat? Ryu actually humbled Sagat, the dude who thought he was the best. And it was even in Sagat's story that the whole reason that he learned a Dragon Punch is because the world had never seen the Dragon Punch before, was originally the story. Do you remember that? Do you remember before they changed it to like, oh yeah, there's like this kind of Dragon Punch, there's this kind of Dragon Punch, there's also evil Dragon Punch, all that kind of stuff. Get the fuck out of here. Go back to the original story that the world had never seen the Dragon Punch before. And it was this invincible move, right? A legendary attack. And the attack was so strong, and this is something that you would play off in the series, right? Play off of these flashbacks that you got this dude who thought he was the best in the world, and now he's got this scar on his chest, right? He was humbled by this whisper of a hero, this whisper of a dude that knows this legendary martial arts, that he humbled this guy. And now he has to live the rest of his life with this scar on his chest, right? And then you have little flashbacks like, oh, there's people like Sakura, who, oh my God, this legendary martial artist. Well, why would anyone, like I said, why does anyone give a fuck about Ryu in the main story now if all he does is turn evil and throws fireballs? Ryu's original story, go back to that, right? And eventually as Ryu goes on his path and there's all these whispers of him and how legendary he is here, he's going to get to this theoretical confrontation here. And again, remember, we focus on this idea that Ryu is leaving a scar on the people that he has actually fought. Sometimes emotionally, sometimes figuratively, right? Now, Akuma, in his desire to be the best, prove he's the best, guess what? He's killed his own master. He's taken this fucking beaded necklace and he wears it like a fucking trophy, right? Because he's like, wow, I'm the strongest person of this martial arts. And to prove I was the strongest, I have to show that I'm willing to kill you. Now, or again, Akuma was not necessarily evil before. Not a good guy to kill his brother, but he was not necessarily evil. There was none of this dark Hado bullshit at first, right? Just say that he is a dude that is so obsessed with being the best that he is willing to kill his opponent in battle. Let's just go with that. Not a nice thing to do, but let's say he's not evil. You talk about the stories like this, this raging demon move that is able to kill you, right? But we also have these starts in the story that I know Street Fighter Alpha 2, the stories already gotten a little bit weird, but some things would be acceptable that you could show Akuma is not an outright murderer, because while he's looking for someone that could actually beat him, right? He fights Gen, but he's like, oh, Gen is sick. And he's like, I'm too, I actually have like a fucking code, so to speak. I'm not going to beat someone who's dying. I'm looking for like the ultimate fight. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to like take it at this old man, right? There's none of this bullshit like, oh, Goken, oh, I fell asleep for 5 years. Oh, wait, Akuma, you're here? Oh, yeah, wait, oh, yeah, sorry, don't make me fall asleep in our battle again. Oh, the winner gets the cup. What the fuck? What do you mean the winner gets the cup? The winner gets Ryu? You get his ass? You're just ass, cast, or grass while you guys are fucking traveling the world as you're homeless. You're selling Ryu's butthole. You know what I mean? But you're going to train him to be evil so he can later beat you. It's retarded. Get that shit out. Basically, the idea is, again, these two characters are on a collision course, right? And they're both trying to use this fundamental martial arts in different ways. And they finally get to this battle, right? And Akuma has been telling us, like, Ryu, you will never beat me unless you use this foundational martial art to the ability that it can kill you, right? And then this guy was saying like, oh, well, why don't you have like a light side versus a dark side? Guess what? If you want to do some anime bullshit, guess what? You know they have these foundational things, the Hurricane Kick, the Fireball, the Dragon Punch, guess what? And then Akuma is like, he actually uses the martial arts to the point that it can kill you. Well, guess what? They already know fire shit. So you have like if you want to get anime and nerdy, oh, we have like a Fireball. It's actually red Fireball. But guess what? You know something Ryu learned that Akuma never learned? He actually has like lightning power. Okay, so say that kind of bullshit if you want to get nerdy. But there's nothing, you don't need to go something so stupid as it's light versus dark, right? It's just that you got these two dudes that are trying to be the best they can be. They have devoted their life to it, right? And then eventually Ryu beats Akuma in this fight. And that's why I said one of the things they should focus on is the whole idea that Ryu has left this mark on people, right? This idea that he's devoted his life to something legitimately, right? And you don't even need to show it all in the story, because sometimes you can tell the story through the eyes of somebody else. And that's why when I said Ryu is the whisper of a hero, you don't need to show everything, every way that Ryu has trained. You can just imply it to the audience by being like showing it through Sagat's eyes, that Sagat is this like broken dude who is obsessed with that he lost his title of the best fighter ever. And he was so arrogant that he got beat by this attack that no one had ever even seen before. Sakura, like, oh my God, who's this random guy? Why does Sakura give a fuck about Ryu anyway? He just turns evil and throws a fireball. It looks like a goddamn fucking monkey, right? And again, Akuma is under this assumption that no one can beat him unless they can fight, do like a battle to the death, right? And Ryu, again, in this theoretical fight at the end, let's say, or what would happen for real, quotation marks, at the end of the fight, he beats Akuma. And you know what he beats him with? You know what he should beat him with? Guess what? He beats him with the same Dragon Punch that he beat Sagat with, right? Or maybe it's the Shin Shoryuken, whatever, right? And when Akuma wakes up from this Dragon Punch, he wakes up and he finds this his necklace is all over the ground, right? That's his scar. And do you see what I'm saying, that? This like memento that he was like carrying around, you know what I mean, as like a trophy of like how strong he was. It was almost like a symbol, like I'm the strongest version of this martial arts ever. And to get this, to obtain this, I had to kill my own brother. And what he's carrying around is actually a scar. It's like a thing, like almost like a symbol that he forsaked his humanity. He killed his own brother, right? And so when he wakes up from this big Dragon Punch and is like, holy shit, Ryu just beat me with that legendary Dragon Punch that I heard about. And he's like checking his chest. He's like, oh my God, I got hit by the same thing that I heard he hit Sagat with. And he sees there's no scar in his chest though, right? But the sheer impact of that dragon punch that he gives Akuma broke the necklace, right? It like released him, so to speak, right? And so he's trying to feel this like scar on his chest. He realized, oh my God, my necklace isn't there. That's like the deep thing you could have done. And then you see Ryu walking away. And Akuma has this realization that what I was carrying around as a trophy to try to show that I was the greatest fighter ever of this legendary martial art that people talk about in the world, so to speak, of Street Fighter. And I was carrying around this necklace as a trophy was actually my own scar, like an own sort of like symbol that I was willing to kill my own brother. And guess what? In this battle to the death that Akuma thought that no one would ever be able to beat him unless they used this martial art in a way that could kill you, he's like, oh fuck, Ryu did beat me. He was just that more fundamentally sound of a fighter. His foundational techniques, even though they couldn't kill me, they were that much more sound, right? He actually knew, people talk about, oh, maybe you could have a light mode, dark mode. He doesn't even need that. Guess what? Because you've already in the story before given the idea that Ryu even can like harness lightning powers. Akuma doesn't harness lightning powers. That can be stuff Akuma wasn't prepared for in the fight. But again, like think about that visual. Akuma waking up from that dragon punch. He's like, oh my God, not only did I lose in a fight that was not actually to the death, Ryu did not kill me. Oh fuck, I'm afraid that I'm left with this scar. He sees that necklace, that trophy that he was wearing is all on the ground because the sheer force of that dragon punch exploded it all over the fucking ground wherever they fought. And then Akuma is left to walk and go on his own different path, right? What he thought made him the strongest, the ability that he could kill somebody with these techniques, guess what? He saw it wasn't worth it. He lost to this dude who would not kill him, whose fundamental sound techniques were just that stronger. And now that is the scar. You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm kind of like trying to play off here? Like the symbology of like the scars that Ryu leaves on people. And if you made this an anime or something like that, you could show the audience that Akuma is obsessed with this fucking necklace, right? That he got from killing his brother. You could show that like Ryu doesn't even need to fight M. Bison, I don't think. If there was an anime, you could just have Akuma fight M. Bison, and that's how you show off this idea that there's a raging demon. And of course, you can imply that he used the raging demon to kill his brother as well. But that's an evil character, and I'm not saying that Akuma is not evil whatsoever. Obviously, the idea that he would do a battle to the death or something, but you could even tell it in the story that maybe Akuma didn't outright kill his brother just like, oh, he just like got salty or something. Maybe their master, Goken or whatever, he was like, okay, Akuma, I want to show you that I don't have to kill you and I can still beat you with this martial art. But guess what? Maybe Akuma beat him. And Ryu hears about that or something, whatever. Maybe it wasn't outright murder. Maybe it was understood this is a battle that I'm going to try to kill you with this stuff, right? And Goken just thought, no, I think I can beat you without it. And guess what? He couldn't. And then Ryu sees that, and maybe that fucks with Ryu, but he's like, shit. He doesn't think of Akuma as an outright murderer, but he's like, fuck. I need to make sure that I can beat this guy because if Akuma will fight this to the death, and my own master lost. But that's why Ryu, guess what? He learns different elements that fucking Goken doesn't have because no bullshit that Goken had the electric Hadouken or anything like that. Get rid of all this bullshit. Oh yeah, I just randomly fall asleep in battle, but I'm still alive. Get the fuck out of here. That's not a good story. This is a story, dude. Like the symbology of that. He's like, I've been carrying this around. And then he sees at the end of the battle, Ryu beat him. And that like weight is lifted off of his shoulders, so to speak. The necklace is on the ground. Ryu fucking saved Akuma, so to speak, right? Or he humbled him. He gave him a new scar. Just like he gave Sagat a new scar, right? That's like a story, dude. Akuma being evil. Oh, I'm dark mode. Oh, I need to lose to a light mode. That's just retarded. No, get that. That doesn't need to be in a story, dude. It's just retarded. Like I said, and the great thing about this is too, if you ever made this like a fucking movie, it doesn't even have to be that long because you just tell it. You don't need to tell all of Ryu's stories because, again, a lot of this can be just told in a flashback. You know, it's the whisper of a hero. You don't need to show Ryu the whole fight of him versus Sagat. You don't need to show the whole fight of this blah blah blah. You just show it through how this other character is acting. You see that Sagat still is scarred. You see that, you know, he's frustrated, and it's implied that this is something that he now lives with because of this, again, whisper of a hero, right? Just like Akuma, you show glimpses of everything. You don't need to show him doing everything. You show glimpses of it through the eyes of other characters, and it's understood what happened, right? Just like I think there's this idea that maybe in narrative and fiction or something like that, oh, well, you know, people won't care about Ryu unless he's evil because you got to show a human side of him or something like that. You don't have to show that because that's not like the story here. The story of Ryu originally is a dude that dedicated his life and he actually did become the best and he only wants the next challenge, right? The end of the fight is after Ryu beats Akuma, it's the next challenge. I saved Akuma, so to speak. Akuma doesn't have to try to kill people anymore in this sort of like theoretical idea in his brain that I can never have the greatest match ever unless I kill somebody. Ryu has saved him from that like thought now, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Anyway, evil characters are lame. I refuse to goon for a fucking evil character. Unless it's a hot girl character, maybe. If you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want. Appreciate it. Thanks. The end.